All right. Good morning. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't base anything I say off these videos. I'm just doing it for pure entertainment purposes only. Just jumping in. Today, just kind of wanted to go over a couple little basic things. I know there's a lot of professional traders that, they do well on the market. They study charts. And they analyze and they look at GME and say there's no way this thing should be going down. It shouldn't be here. It's going down. But I think people really underestimate the power of retail, the power of apes, the power of FOMO. A lot of people are saying there's no way it can reach numbers it reached last time. And nowhere have I ever said I thought it would reach those numbers. But I don't underestimate retail. I don't underestimate Roaring Kitty, GME, people following, people that have been holding the bag and adding since the first run that got caught and didn't sell. There's a lot of people that want revenge. There's a lot of people that are thinking, hey, let's do it again, that have gotten out and they're buying back in. And then there's new people, and I'm talking about GME specifically right now, not AMC. We'll jump into AMC next. But GME, looking at the chart, there's no way it should be where it's at. But you can't, with these stocks, you can't read them by a chart. It's not black and white when it comes to these. A lot of people look at GME and AMC, and they're still stuck in that black and white, index fund style charting where there's not manipulation, where the buys are going in and out like they should. And the chart just does not give you, it can help you in instances, but once FOMO kicks in and buying power is high like it can be, like we've seen it be before on GME, people get smoked on the short end of it, and it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to make sense. All you got to know is apes buy and hang around like apes. They buy and hold. Of course, there's going to be a point where people sell off, and it's not going to just all drop at once, because I hear a lot of people say, well, be careful, it's going to drop. No shit. What goes up must come down. But I think most people understand the fact of the matter is you're in and out. You're not here to, for me personally, and this is not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do, buy, sell, or hold. I would never say that. But for me personally, GME is, people say it's a pump and dump. Isn't every stock really a pump and a dump for everyone at some point? You pump money in and you dump your money out. That's the point. A lot of people are trying to spread fear about it. Like, oh, don't invest into that. Be safe. Which, if you want to play it safe, definitely GME, AMC, they're not the type of runs for you. But I don't know, a few weeks before, or maybe a couple weeks before it ran, I had an instinct, and I talked about it. I said, I'm jumping into GME. And that's why I talk about it on this page a lot, buying with instinct, and using your instinct, not mixing it up with emotion, but firing the trigger when you have that instinct. I did. And then I had an instinct to sell. I bought, a X amount of shares in GME, and I sold about 75% of the new ones I had bought. I already had a position that I've been holding for, like a HODL position, not many. But I bought and held, sold 75% of them, and then it ran up even bigger, but I still got that 25%, and I added a little bit, and now I'm just kind of riding it out. But with AMC, now we'll jump into AMC. AMC is a different beast, because AMC hasn't had its big run. It's been suppressed longer and longer and longer. I think it's a lot of people do say that, oh, maybe they learned something from GME, and that's why. And I think they did somewhat, but they didn't all at once. Like, they learned how to suppress it more and not let it go and let it rip, and more loopholes on how to manipulate things, but they didn't learn not to underestimate or mess with retail apes, because once people cling in and buy and hold these stocks, they're not just buying and holding only for money. A lot of the apes that are in these plays genuinely like the stock. I like AMC. I like the stock. A lot of people that are in GME like the stock. They're not here only for that very reason, which everyone is here to make money, but there's more than money, I guess, involved when it comes to these type of plays, because in the long run, I want a fair market. I want to be able to trade and not feel like my shares are going into a dark pool and I'll never get paid, off of a stock. So it's not just, about a bunch of idiots that don't know how to trade that are buying a stock and holding it and making money off of it. It's about a fair market. Not everyone, and that's the one of the issues too is this the dumb money comments. People think we're dumb money and they just, push to the side. They don't value your money in the market, when in essence, if every retailer in the world just decided to pull out of the market today, can you imagine the impact that would have on the market? So, they call us dumb money, they call us the little guy, but you combine everyone together and we are much stronger than any fund out there. So, and it's not something to join together and we're all going to buy a stock and pump it together, but everyone has their own opinions, just like hedge funds have their own opinions, and not all of them are invested in the same stock and not all of them are short in the same stock, but they want to make money. That's exactly what retail wants to do. They just want to make money. We want a fair market. Like if I lose on a play and I know I lost because of manipulation, I guess is the only way to put it, then I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be bothered. That's just it. So I would, if I lost, let's just say I lost on AMC and there was no manipulation on it. I just like the stock. I like the theater, and the theater doesn't do well, and I lose my money, and I lost fair and square. Then that's my own. I wouldn't be, it would suck to lose your money, but I wouldn't be, going through the shit we're going through right now, I guess. No one would. So I just want to jump in really because I got a lot of friends that do charting and technical analysis, and only the ones that are, I guess, straight up pencil pushers, pushing their glasses up, are the ones that are like, I don't know, buddy, you gotta be careful with this stuff, So, and they're the same ones that told me the first GME run that it would never happen. Hold on a second. Please. Okay. All right, my bad. Just grabbing some coffee here real quick. Okay. Got my wife some coffee. Had a late night last night. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Technical analysis can only get you so far on this play. Yes, it's helpful, but it doesn't show what I believe is a manipulation. You got to do deep DD on a lot of these things. You got to delve into the future of the fundamentals. You got to delve into how much is being shorted, who's shorting it. You got to delve into OBV volume that's just been outstanding in favor of buys in AMC for the past, I don't know, 2-3 years. Those are things that a guy that makes a living on the market just doesn't compute with them, But I've been through it with GME before. Some of the same people tell me that it couldn't cross 40, it couldn't cross 60, then all of a sudden when it ran, I was like, okay, wow, amazing. And then all of a sudden they forgot again. It's like, oh, AMC can't run, GME can't run. Then they pump and it's like, oh, well, that was their squeeze. They can't pump past 11 or 12. I literally had someone tell me that AMC had it squeezed at $11 the other day. And I just, at this point, and it's someone I know, so it's like, you don't want to talk too much shit and argue too much because, but at the same time, I just don't, I don't know. I don't understand how we've gotten to the point where people just don't believe it can happen when it's happened already.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
I'll see ya. All right. So, that history has repeated itself, and squeezes happen all the time. AMC and GME just happen to be, to me, just a different monster. They're just so big. I feel like you see it pump, and often you could, you know, there is people that play it, and more power to them. You know, it's just not the way I play it. There is people that when it pumps, they sell, and then when it dumps, they buy back in. That works for some people. For me, it just doesn't work because the way I'm buying these shares, and that's another, it's just another way to do it. Like for me, you know, a lot of people say, oh, be careful with AMC and GME, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm being careful with it. I'm buying a couple shares here and there at a time. Right now, I just went and bought a large coffee and left a tip, wound up being like 10 bucks. Right now, that's 2 shares of AMC. You know, I cut mine out. I cut mine out. So obviously, I'm not going to go to McDonald's and get a breakfast burrito or would buy in the morning. You know, I have myself a little protein bar in the morning and a Monster. That saves a few bucks. So all in all, the shares I bought today would have been what I would have spent on breakfast, coffee, and maybe a couple extra bucks. But at the end of the year, I don't calculate, okay, how much did I spend on breakfast? How much did I spend on coffee? I just let it go. And that's what I'm doing with my AMC shares. I'm buying them in the morning, and whatever I bought during the day, I look at it like I would have digested a fucking Egg McMuffin and shit that out. You know what I mean? But instead, I got these shares, and they're just sitting there growing. So for me, that's how I'm playing it careful. A lot of people say, oh, play it careful, be careful. You just never know what's going to happen. But, and that statement's true. You know, never invest more than you're willing to lose, and be careful, because these things, who knows, they may never run again. But for me personally, I've done my DD. I've done my investigating on the stock and what I believe is happening. Even if none of that happens, fundamentally, this play is, AMC is definitely valued in my opinion, especially coming into 2025, 2026, and I'm willing to hold this long term without a squeeze. I like the stock, I like the company, I think they're moving forward, I think it's progressive, I think they've done a lot of good things, I think they're going to continue to do a lot of good things. GME, on the other hand, I'm newer to it. I've been doing some DD, and that's one of those ones where obviously I'm not buying as heavy into, because I don't have as much faith or as much DD in it as I do with AMC. But they have a lot of people following it, and when there's a lot of people, a lot of eyes on it, and it's already ran before, and you can see this, you can see it's just ready to run again. You can just feel it. The tension on it is just tight. So that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, like I said, I'm gonna throw my seatbelt on 1 second. Alright, my bad. These aren't new things, though. You know, people know, a lot of people coming in know, but there is a lot of new investors. I've had a lot of people say, you know, this is their first investments. And I will say, you know, don't follow one YouTuber, don't follow one ticker. It's always good to diversify your portfolio, but also if you feel like doing one ticker and throwing everything into one basket, that's totally up to you. It's your opinion. I wouldn't knock you for doing it. Trust me, with AMC and GME, the way they run, I've been tempted to dump everything and just throw it all into AMC, but I've got to stay level-headed, and that's just how I play the market. You know, I run off of instinct, and my instinct doesn't say dump everything. My instinct tells me actually to have some index funds, some safe plays, just to keep it, you know, keep it safe, balance it out a little bit, you know. And I add to index funds on a daily or weekly basis, depending on how my money's flowing. Right now, where I can feel the tension in AMC and GME, I'm throwing a lot more into my meme stocks, if you will, than I am into my long-term holds. But once AMC squeezes or GME squeezes, I'm gonna take a good chunk of that and put it into a long-term, long-hold investment. So a lot of things to consider, man, but everyone is responsible for their own wallet. You know, don't follow blindly anyone. Don't just trust what people say. Don't trust what I say. Like, do your own research, do your own DD. When it comes to money, you know, money is what makes this world go round, sadly. So you have to be safe with it. You have to be cautious with it. But you also really can't. I don't know. I shouldn't say what you could and can't do, but for me, I guess I'm speaking for me here. You can't be scared with it. I can't be scared with it because all the good things that have happened to me have been on the other side of like risk and fear, and not just money. You know, like if you face it and go after it, on the opposite side of fear is usually a reward. So, not all the time, nothing guaranteed. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, and I would never tell you to buy, sell, or hold a stock or anything like that. But I'm just saying, there's potential. But yeah, you also do got to consider the other side where, hey, what if this thing never squeezes? And you know, there is some people that do crazy shit. Like I know dudes that have gone and taken their whole life savings and just thrown it in, and then those are the people that, if it doesn't squeeze 6-7 months down the road, are gonna be talking about this shit's crooked, blah blah blah. And you know, obviously we know it's crooked, but they're gonna be more pissed off and stressed out because it's I think the first rule of thumb in any investment, and I've said it a million times and a lot of people say it, is never invest more than you're willing to lose. You really have to take that into consideration. That is like one of the biggest things to consider there, to follow. You know, that's it. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because that is going to be one of the biggest contributors to emotions to this whole thing. Anyways, let's see what we got in the comments. What's up, Michael Calhoun? Paradox, what up, what up? Yeah, Kingdom of the Apes is the #1 in the movie theaters right now. That's the other thing is people are talking about movies not being there. They're coming out. They're slowly but surely starting to get more and more movies coming. So by the end of this year, I've said it a million times in my videos that I think AMC and theaters in general will definitely see better numbers Q4 and Q1 of 2025. Q4 of 2024, Q1 of 2025, we're definitely going to see some changes. So I just want to jump in and say all that, man. That's it, really. Technical analysis is good, but it can only do so much. A play like this, AMC, GME, plays like that are not going to be, they're not going to be normal, I guess. So, what up, y'all? What's up? What is it? Merc the one. So, you know, those are going to be, there's going to be people that are going to put doubt in your head, and a lot of them are good traders. I'm not saying they're not. They're good traders, but this is a different play. Totally different play. Hold on. All right, we're back. We back. So, Larry P says victory feels sweet. It does. We're there. We're almost there. But you know, I feel like that as well. I feel like regardless of what the number says, I feel like I've already won. It is a weird feeling, but I've heard a few people say that, and it's true. Like, you have that feeling like, oh, we've already won. It's just a matter of time before we start collecting. That's my thoughts on it too. But yeah, it's slowly climbing. There's going to be moments where it's going to dip again. It would be nice to see it whip out of control and just take off. But my theory has been for a long time, it's not a popular opinion. People attack me when I say this, but my opinion is this thing has more of a chance of squeezing towards, like I said, the end of this year or at some point next year, just because fundamentally the movies will be back. There won't be much of an argument like, okay, yes, you could look at the numbers, the movies are doing great. This is future hypothetical future talking here. But, you know, you look at the numbers, there's movies coming out, there's more and more movies come out. There's movies set to come out all the way up to 2026 that I've seen that are like big blockbuster hits, but they're going to be more and more coming, more and more coming. Theaters ain't going nowhere. The more movies that keep coming out, it's going to get harder and harder for them to suppress it. So once, you know, the short thesis is already getting there's been several short theses, is that a word, that have been kind of beaten down, you know, and the main one is that theaters are dead. People say that theaters are dead. No one goes to theaters, but where I live, theaters are packed. I don't know, man. Sometimes I even wonder about some of these numbers coming out, because someone said something about If bombed and the box office, but I couldn't even get into If in the matinees. It was sold out. We got in at a late show and it was packed. A kids movie, late show, packed at 9:45. You know what I mean? We went to it, but it was packed. It was, you know, and the next night, some of my family members went and they said it was packed because I was asking them how it looked. They wound up sitting in the very front rows where you're breaking your neck looking up at the screen. So it's just, I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder, what are these numbers being reported to? But hey, maybe, you know, all these, that's just a whole other theory in itself. But is it that deep to where they could lie? I don't know. Maybe not. But I will say this. I think theaters aren't going anywhere. I think movies are definitely, If wasn't like a huge blockbuster, but it was one of those random ones that came out that I felt like, you know, it could do something. Just because it wasn't like I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about it. I haven't heard that it was supposed to be a huge blockbuster hit. But any kids movie, you know, usually does okay, just because people are trying to get their kids out to do something. Why not go to a movie? But anyways, the whole point of this video is because I've had a lot of, not a lot, but a few people that are just telling me that the charts show, you know, that this shouldn't be doing this, and, you know, it shouldn't be this high already. And I agree. The charts in GameStop, not AMC, and GameStop are showing that shouldn't be where it's at. But people just keep underestimating the power of retail. Don't underestimate it, man. I'm telling you. Black guy number 5872 says Roaring Kitty is a double agent of the Matrix. Who knows? Let's say he is a double agent. He came out and caused huge FOMO, though. So, and I know a lot of people that do just buy in and out. I know, so personally, I know a dude that's all he does. He just basically preys on these types of stocks, especially AMC and GME. And he's trying to kind of clown me a little bit, because he said that he got in at around $12 a share, held it, and jumped out at like one of the top numbers around $60. I mean, this dude made a couple $100,000 in a couple weeks. So if he's double agenting, he's not doing very good, because people are making a lot of money on the other end too. And there is a lot of people that can play that way. For me, I don't have that type of money to where I can throw $20,000, $30,000 and just let it ride. That's not what I'm willing to lose. In the long run, yes. Like I said, I think y'all know how I do it. How I've said I've played my shares and the amounts, but I can't justify throwing in 20 grand in a day. You know what I mean? I can justify it over years and time. But for me, you know, here's the thing too, is I guess if you have that type of money, or you're willing to throw that type in at one shot, you know, I would have definitely probably jumped in when I had that instinct around that $10 range. And then with AMC, when it was at like $3, you imagine right now you'd be already way up. There's a lot of people that already are way up. And for some reason, the people that make money on this play just like to talk shit. Like, I don't know why, but they're like, see what I did? Made some money. You jealous? No, I don't get jealous, man. I don't know why. I'm not weird like that. I feel good that you made money. Good job. I congratulate people. Hate, don't congratulate. I don't hate, I congratulate, right? The old I'm old school, man. Shit. I want to see you succeed. Yeah, that's the thing too. Station 33 is right. If you say a thing on the internet, someone will say the opposite. No matter what you say, there's always going to be an argument, right? So, anyway, I'm going to jump out for a minute. I got a couple things to handle. Man, we're right in the middle of sports season. First things first, I'm a dad. I'm coaching 2 teams. I've got 3 kids playing. I've got an older kid in high school sports that right now we're in between with him, luckily. But I coach 2 of my teams, kids teams, my toddlers team, and then my older kids, boys, well, not older, but first graders team. So I got to round up jerseys and pants and socks and belts, and we got 2 games today. So I got to get all my shit ready so that way I'm ready to go by the end of the day. Just jump out and jump in the game. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna throw a couple more bucks into the market real quick. I'll check back in here shortly once I get the shop open and get back in front of a chart in front of the computer. I was basically just jumped in live because I was talking to someone before I jumped in my car, and they were telling me about this, the technical analysis. And I thought, man, this is like the 3rd person in the last couple days that's letting me know. And these aren't even shills or trolls or anything. These are people I know. So it's not everyone that says something against the play isn't a shill or a troll. They just don't grasp. They can't see past the black and white. You know what I mean? So, anyways, man, y'all have a good one. Be blessed. Let's get rid of single peace.